Hello and welcome to the Random Wrestling Review. This is our local to global series, and we are in September now of 2000. We've just come out of the 5th anniversary show, of course, and after that, we now have our size up to 19 in the Northwest. I don't think it's very long before we can actually get some broadcasters interested in us. I think it's still very much a case that they're not able to negotiate, but I've got a feeling one or two of these smaller one or two of these smaller companies, smaller broadcasters, um, might be interested when we get to 2021, maybe even 22. And hopefully we can broadcast on in an area of the game which is outside of our home region. Otherwise, there's not that much point in it because obviously we're just playing to the same audience over and over again. So we do want to kind of start to expand that audience. I mean, this is local to global after all. We are looking to go global eventually. I know that that's probably still an awful way off. Today we have got Open Doors to cover. It's the next show on the calendar, week 4, Monday, week 4 of September, and it is not a problem at all in terms of everybody being available for it. And I think we're just about ready to move on. One thing I do want to do quickly, though, because I forgot to do it in the last episode, was refresh um, or tweak his gimmick because um, it wasn't. Yeah, it's not been at its best as of late. As we said in the last episode, the last show we did, the 5th anniversary show, was the 46 rating, the second best show we've done in company history. And of course, we had the match, the best match we've ever had, with CM Punk facing Jim Neidhart and getting the victory in that one. So let's move on, I guess, to our next player-controlled show, and also take a look at the rankings at this time, because this is how they stand going into Open Doors. Now, the belt's not going to be on the line at Open Doors. Obviously, this is a free show, so we don't want to give away anything too major. But Batista is the champion, and then underneath him, we've got Billy Kidman and Charlie Haas both on 10 points. CM Punk has 9. James Storm also has 9. Then we have Chris Harris, Rex King, Shawn Stasiak, and C.W. Anderson on 7. Teddy Hart on 6. Dan Severn, Mark Henry, Keith Hart, and Ace still on 4. Hemo, Barry Buchanan on 3, Eric Young on 2. Then Jim Neidhart is now appearing in the rankings, even though he's going to be a kind of irregular performer. I guess as close as the Random Wrestling Reviews had to a part-timer to this point. He has 0 points after losing to Punk in his debut match. And Buddy Wayne also has 0 after losing his title match against Dave Batista at the 5th anniversary show. And I guess just a little bit of time here, whilst the calendar flicks over to the next day, to ask you to give us a like if you enjoy this video, and also to subscribe to the channel, because there is obviously the continuation of this series, but also all the other content that we're bringing you at the moment on the channel. And it always helps in terms of, mainly helps in terms of my own motivation to think that there are more people joining us as we go, and enjoying this series, and indeed enjoying all the other things that are on the channel, and also to perhaps encourage you to check out our podcast, which has been going a lot longer than the YouTube channel. Over 5 years now, well over 270 different shows on our feed. The Random Wrestling Review, you can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, pretty much everywhere you get a podcast, you can now listen to it. We have covered so many different shows from so many different periods, so many different companies, that there's bound to be something for you to check out. So please take a look if you could. So yeah, we're gonna be going into Open Doors. The main event is going to be Mark Henry and Shawn Stasiak against Buddy Wayne and Dave Batista. Now, this is obviously the follow-up from the 5th anniversary show, because the Stasiak and Henry tried to attack Dave Batista before the main event of that, but Buddy Wayne helped Batista get rid of Stasiak and Mark Henry. We've got some news. Punisher Barry Buchanan is leaving Smoky Mountain Wrestling. ECMO has left. We knew he was leaving, and he has now left the company. That is fine. That was all expected. ECMO had served us really well. He'd been in the company for a really long time. 51 matches in the end he participated in. There aren't that many people who've had that many matches. Buddy Wayne, of course, 67 is the RWR original. And Batista's been around a long time now. 51 matches. Charlie Haas, 50 matches. CW Anderson, 50 matches. Shawn Stasiak, 53. And Ace Steel, 57. But ECMO was right up there as one of the longest serving members of our roster. You can see here Triple H staying with WWF. He's clearly, as he's still Hunter Hearst Helmsley, never graduated beyond that, and presumably has not reached the level of success that he did in reality in this game world. So it is on to Open Doors tonight. Then the latest free show in our calendar. All good. So let's go through this card, start building out this card then. So we're going to have an opener, which is going to be a tag team contest. It's going to see CM Punk and Rex King against Billy Kidman and Eric Young. That's the opening contest. We're going to make this reasonably long. We're going to work the crowd. We're going to have, unsurprisingly, CM Punk go over and he's going to pin Eric Young. Open match pinfall. So Rex King and CM Punk get a victory here. After the match, though, Billy Kidman is trying to just figure out, I think charisma's probably the best thing. He's going to effectively walk out on Eric Young after the match. Kidman's just going to walk out of the arena without checking on his partner. So really, basically, Kidman showing his disdain, I guess, for his partner in this match, who took the pinfall, lost the match for them, and Kidman's just like, I don't even care about this guy. As Billy Kidman makes his way to this heel turn that we are building him towards. Now, remember, this is a free show, so there's not going to be any major matches on this. James Storm is going to take on CW Anderson in this next match. Yeah, that's right. That's what we want to do. So James Storm versus CW Anderson. I'm going to make this reasonably long as well. James Storm is going to go over though. And he's pretty high up in the rankings, 9 points already. This would be a 10th point for him. We will make this. I think we'll make this the storytelling match, and it'll be a pinfall victory for James Storm. Then next up, we've got a 3 versus 3 contest as the remaining members of the Rebellion team up together to take on Dan Severn, Keith Hart, and Teddy Hart. This is kind of like the final embers of the feud between Dan Severn and the Rebellion. This one can stay at 10 minutes because we've got Keith Hart in it, but we're going to have a victory for the heels, and we're going to give Ace Steel the pinfall, and he's going to go over on Keith Hart, who is we've really not got huge plans for going forward, so it makes sense for him to take the pin here. Whereas Teddy Hart, we've still got some plans for, though Dan Severn's another one that we're not really looking to go too much further with. And actually, I'm starting to think that one or two of the people that I had already earmarked out for leaving the company over the next few months might go a little bit sooner than I had originally imagined. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Charlie Haas will take on Chris Harris in another match. So the Mavericks and Red Alert, having had a tag team title match at the last event, are now having a pair of singles contests against one another. This one we're going to have a draw, I think, actually. Time limit finish we're going to go with between these two. We're going to slow build that one as well. Yeah, I like that for the match between Charlie Haas and Chris Harris. And then we're going to have the main event. And it is, as I said before, Mark Henry and Shawn Stasiak against Buddy Wayne and Dave Batista. Obviously, a follow-up to everything that took place at the anniversary show. This one is going to be 13 minutes, and it is going to be a win for Shawn Stasiak, and he's going to pin. Is he going to pin Buddy Wayne, or is he going to pin Dave Batista? I'm quite tempted to have him pin Batista. In fact, I'm going to do it. I think it just increases the intrigue surrounding a future So I made a few mistakes there. A future potential title match between the two. So Henry and Stasiak are going to beat Buddy Wayne and Dave Batista. Now let's just look at the booking analysis. Everything's fine. Bruce Hart and Jim Neidhart are the two men left off the show, but that's as expected. And yeah, this is a free show, so we don't have to do too much. With the next show obviously going to be the luck of the draw as well, we don't really need to build anything at this show. We've obviously just continued on with um, the Kidman heel turn. Just making sure there's nothing else that we need to do here, or anything else I had in plan. Don't think that there is. Uh, no, I think we'll just go with this one then. So here we go then. Open Doors 2000, the second time we've done this show, and yeah, let's go to it. So in front of a crowd of 216 people, the first time we've ever gone over 200 in our attendance. CM Punk and Rex King defeat Billy Kidman and Eric Young in 13 minutes and 4 seconds when Punk pins Eric Young with a Shining Wizard. He had an in-ring performance of 52, so he is just on fire at the moment. He's just getting better and better. But Rex King also a 40. Kidman still down in the late 20s at the moment, which, I mean, he's been caught up by Eric Young in terms of in-ring performance. So Kidman's not performing great at this point in time. But a segment rating all the same of 47, a really excellent tag team match to open things up here at Open Doors. Then after the match, Billy Kidman walks out after the match without checking on his partner, Eric Young, and kind of showing a little bit of disdain and disrespect for his tag team partner. Segment rating of 24 as Kidman uses subtle mannerisms to hint at a future heel turn. Then James Storm versus C.W. Anderson in the second match tonight. Another really good one. 45 rating here. James Storm a 46, C.W. Anderson a 33. Storm wins an 11:54 by pinfall. A very, very nice way to continue the good start to this one. The six-man tag match was up next. It's the Rebellion, Ace Steel, Barry Buchanan, and Chemo against Dan Severn, Keith Hart, and Teddy Hart. And the heels win this one when Ace Steel pins Keith. Chemo was head and shoulders above everyone else in terms of the in-ring quality. Keith Hart at 26, so he's actually, I mean, still really low, but actually improving very, very gradually. And he's not going to improve massively. Obviously, he's quite old. So it's not like this is going to change my mind in terms of keeping him or not. Everyone else performed pretty well, though, here. Dan Severn at 34, Teddy Hart at 35. He's doing really well at the moment for a segment rating of 40 overall. I'm rattling through this pretty quickly, but this is just a sort of, it feels like a little bit of a show just to grow our audience as opposed to really progress the stories. And this is a problem here. Charlie Haas sustains a compound scapular fracture in this match, which leads it to be a segment rating of 36. I was really hoping for something from this match, and no doubt Chris Harris in-ring performance of 40 and Charlie Haas 42. This could have been a pretty damn good match had it not resulted in this injury for Charlie Haas, who's been one of our best in-ring performers in the last year or so, really. And they draw in 15 minutes when the time limit expires between these two. So we'll have to wait and see as to what the extent of that injury is to Charlie Haas, but that could be somewhat of a blow for us. We'll have to wait and see. So we move on to the main event then, and it is a 48 rated match, which is really, really great. Mark Henry and Shawn Stasiak defeat Buddy Wayne and Dave Batista in 13 minutes and 1 second when Stasiak pins Batista. Stasiak did a 45, Batista a 44, Buddy Wayne a 43. You can see here Stasiak's gimmick is getting stale. I'll just make a quick note of that one. But what a great main event here, with Henry and Stasiak, who of course won the Super Summer Tag Team Extravaganza tournament, also now winning this tag team match in the main event of Open Doors in a really good contest. So the overall rating is 46, 4 matches over 40, and I think that the fact that Charlie Haas and Chris Harris was only a 36 was only because of the injury suffered by Charlie Haas. So first of all, CM Punk is going to be complimented because he was, again, absolutely fantastic. I think we owe Shawn Stasiak a compliment, and I'm also going to give James Storm a compliment. So this is more of just a generic, you all performed, you were the 3 best performers in the ring from what I can remember, and you get the praise. So let's see. The first order of business is to see how long this injury is going to keep Wow. Okay. So this is actually big. Charlie Haas is going to be out for effectively 6 months. That is huge. That really, really is huge. Charlie Haas injured. Um, we're going to have to really think about that. Now, um, interestingly enough, not to give too much away, but Charlie Haas wasn't. I hadn't planned to use Charlie Haas on the next show, which is the Luck of the Draw, and that's because we only put 5 matches on in the Luck of the Draw: a title match, a tag team title match, a six-man tag match, and then two singles matches. And so not all of the roster perform at that show, but and our popularity has gone up to 20. I'll get to that in a second. But that's still a blow because I did have some plans for Charlie Haas in general in the next 6 months that he now won't be able to do. Our popularity has gone up to 20 in the Northwest thanks to that really big attendance. Let's have a look at that in terms of attendance. It's obviously our highest ever attendance, 216, much, much bigger than the previous best, which was Jingle All the May in May this same year. And yeah, we are going from strength to strength in terms of that stuff. In terms of the event, so it was the second best event we've ever done, just above fifth anniversary. So both, in fact, the last four shows we've done are all in the top five. Just the Golden Triangle tournament final, which is sort of keeping itself up at the top for the moment. Then in terms of top 100 matches, so I'm trying to find what might be on here. The main event of that show is the eighth best match in company history. I mean, that's really encouraging in terms of Mark Henry as well. He's coming on all the time in terms of his own quality. The opener of that show was here, the 11th best match of all time, and also James Storm versus C.W. Anderson was the 18th best match in company history. So some good results coming out of that in terms of the overall performance. Our next show is Luck of the Draw. We might even get to it. Just want to check the availability in October. We're fine. So I think we move on to the end of the current month. There might be obviously some major show that WCW or WWE had done at the end of September, which we will check in with. We're also going to check our finances though, because I'm pretty sure that month was reasonably costly for us, given that we didn't get any ticket revenue from open doors. And also that we used Jim Neidhart at the fifth anniversary show, and he was pretty expensive. I think something like $1,700 for that appearance. So that's quite a lot of money we spent on him. In fairness, I still think we are fine financially, and we can roll things back a little bit if we need to. So like we can just go back to doing one event per month for a little bit if we need to generate some profit. So I'm not that worried about the money situation at this point in time, but I think it's important to just keep an eye on it. So let's just do that first of all. Yeah, we lost $3,000, which is probably the biggest since February, the biggest loss we've had in the company. As I said, there were reasons for that. And we still got $20,000 in the bank, so I'm not too worried. Now, also, WCW Fall Brawl took place. The main event was Sting defeating Arn Anderson to retain the World Heavyweight title, but you can see here 71 rating. That's not good enough for WCW. They need more than that, really. Scott Hall and Tricky Star defeat Ric Flair and Mabel. So they've signed Mabel to their company. 79 rated match, so not bad, but still. VK Wall Street defeated Hugh Morris. Bam Bam Bigelow against Rico Suave. Yeah, I mean they continue to be in a position where you would worry for their future ultimately here, WCW. Um, the Low Lives, All Japan, Chris Benoit has joined that group. We've got Jim Ross being extended by WWF. I think that's the main stories of the time right now. So we are 7 days away. I'm just going to check once again the availability. Yes, we're 7 days away from Luck of the Draw. This was obviously a big event the last year around, and I think we'll move on to it. Because I've already planned for this event. I do try and stay one event ahead now because there's always the possibility, the potential for us to cover two events in one episode, and we're going to try and do that today if we can. That might mean extending this episode a little bit. We'll just see what happens. I mean, there may be some major news come through that we have to attend to that kiboshes any hope of us looking at the luck of the draw. But Charlie Haas being injured for 6 months is a pretty big deal, I think, in terms of our plans. He had been performing so well. He was also quite near the top of the rankings. He obviously was actually one of the top-ranked competitors. He and Billy Kidman were on 10 wins. Now, admittedly, he'd been joined. In fact, both of them had been joined on 10 points by Punk and James Storm at the conclusion of that last show. So, um, yeah, that might affect things, but we'll wait and see, I guess, um, in terms of what we're going to do there. I haven't planned for the next number one contender because we don't need to worry about it too much. So we're going to move into the luck of the draw 2000. As I said, this was a big show last time because of the fact that we had Dan Severn debut on the show and win the title in his debut match. So it's got the real potential to move things around at this show. And we are going to start with something very different. We're going to have Dave Batista come out to start, and he is going to basically call out Mark Henry. So what's going to happen is Batista says he knows Henry has been drawn against him, wants the match now, and he calls out Mark Henry to have that match right here, right now. This is because Batista obviously angry at the attacks that has been perpetrated against him by Mark Henry and Shawn Stasiak, and because he's angry and he wants to get it done. He's been itching to face Mark Henry as soon as possible. So that's what's going to happen in the opening match. We're going to make it 11 minutes. We're going to work the crowd, and Batista's going to win. But this is different because obviously it sees um, it sees the RWR Northwest title on the line in the opening match of the night. It's also Mark Henry's second shot at Batista, which is another thing that's different here. You'll obviously see that Batista defeated Mark Henry just a couple of months ago at the Big Night Out, and in what was, I think, Batista at the time's third defense of the title. So he's facing Mark Henry in this particular match. And what's going to happen? In fact, we've given Batista the victory. I think what we'll do instead is we're not going to have it by pinfall. It's going to be by DQ finish, and it's going to be when Shawn Stasiak comes in and attacks Dave Batista. I'm going to have it so that Mark Henry's effectively beaten. Batista hits him with the Batista bomb, if he could do that to Mark Henry, and then looks like he's going to get the pin and a victory. Instead, Shawn Stasiak's going to jump in, attack Batista, and meaning this one ends in a disqualification victory for Batista, although Batista obviously defends the title successfully. Now, after the match, we're going to have Mark Henry and Shawn Stasiak attack Dave Batista once more, and Buddy Wayne is going to come in and make the save. Don't think there's a. I'm playing Wrestle. Now I'm playing God. Now I'm playing TEW9. I'm forgetting what options we've got that are different on here to what's on TEW9. So Henry and Stasiak attack Batista. Buddy Wayne tries to make save, but is hurt too. That's what we're going to do here. So Stasiak and Henry are going to attack Batista. Buddy Wayne's going to run in to try and make the save, but Henry and Stasiak also take him out and put him down as well. Okay, so the next match, drawn at random, of course, is a trios match. Ace Steel, Barry Buchanan, and CM Punk are drawn as a team. They will face C.W. Anderson, Teddy Hart, and Eric Young. And we don't need this to go. Yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes. We're going to go with this one. The winner is going to be in this one. We're going to have. I think we'll have Barry Buchanan get the pinfall. He's going to pin Eric Young. And then after the match, there's going to be a little angle here where Ace Steel offers CM Punk a place in the Rebellion. empty place in the rebellion. In fact, let's just change that wording. Vacancy seems like a better word there. So he's going to offer him the vacancy in the rebellion and tells him to think about it. Says, don't answer now. Go away, think about it, and then join us afterwards. So, Ace still, we'll go into more detail about how that angle plays out when we run through the show. Then the next match is another one of the singles match that's been drawn. It's going to be Dan Severn versus Shawn Stasiak. So obviously, um, you know, Shawn Stasiak drawn into a match, and he's going to win this one against Dan Severn as part of really us, you know, um, gradually dropping Dan Severn out of the roster. We don't need him to do much anymore, so we're happy for that to be a straight victory. Then we're going to have another singles match, and it's going to be Rex King against Keith Hart. And this one's going to be won by Rex King. He's going to get a tainted victory, I think, though, in this one. So it's probably a bit long for Keith Hart, but I don't really mind. I don't think it's going to be a major problem. And then we're going to have the main event, which is going to be the Mavericks defending their tag team title, of course. It's the only match that's left for us to put in the main event spot. And they're going to be drawn against Buddy Wayne and Billy Kidman. For the second year in a row, Buddy Wayne and Billy Kidman get the chance to go after the tag team titles. But it's going to be won by James Storm, and he's going to pin Buddy Wayne. Now, Buddy Wayne, of course, was earlier had been beaten up as part of the attack on Batista, and he's going to carry that injury into this match, and it's going to cost he and Billy Kidman the Northwest Tag Team titles here when James Storm manages to pin. In fact, what we'll do, we're not even going to do it like that. We are going to have Buddy Wayne as the loser, but I'm not going to end it with a pinfall. I'm going to end it with a stoppage. I think that's a better. Yeah, let's just go injury stoppage. I know injury stoppage seems to be not really injury, but we'll do it anyway. You know what I'm going for here, which is basically the referee stops the match because the Mavericks concentrate on the injury Buddy Wayne picked up as part of the earlier attack, and the referee decides that he has to stop it. I'm just going to check that I did what I wanted to do there. Yes. So after the main event, we are going to have the turn. It is time for Billy Kidman to turn. He's going to turn on Buddy Wayne, his mentor, the man who sort of sponsored him to stay in the company in the first place. Billy Kidman attacks, but attacks the already hurt Buddy Wayne. Swerves, turns on, turns on the already hurt Buddy Wayne, and we're gonna in this one have the turn of Billy Kidman. This is what it's been leading to. And Billy Kidman ultimately is going to attack Buddy Wayne. This is the conclusion to that, the build for this heel turn that we've been doing. So I think this episode, I think I'm going to what am I going to do here? I'm actually really eager to do the show, but I'm also really eager to stick to our 30 minutes per episode kind of rule. And I think given that we haven't started the show yet and we're 29 minutes according to my timer, that we should stop right there. But that is the event. It's a pretty big one. And so some big stuff going on here with the but Billy Kidman heel turn, Batista being attacked by Henry and Stasiak, the whole kind of irregular start with the Northwest title being on the line in the opener. I think that's an exciting show, and I'm going to leave you on tenterhooks, waiting to see how this plays out, seeing how well it performs as well, of course, both in terms of attendance and number of tickets we sell, but also in terms of just overall quality. But thank you very much for watching today. As I said before, if you've enjoyed today's episode, please give us a like, and hopefully we'll see you back here next time. But until then, thank you very much for watching.